guys, welcome. Today we're going to be doing a general guide just to help you guys with, I got X car, I can't find any videos about it. What do I do? What are the best things that I can do to make this car faster or more useful as a sports car or performance machine, whatever you want to do with it. This is where you want to start with these 5 modifications, and these will cover any vehicle no matter what you're using it for. These are going to be the top 5 in every vehicle's list, and then of course each vehicle will have specific problems that need to be fixed with it. So number 1, for anything, no matter what it is always going to be tires. Whether you're going off-road, whether you're doing drag racing, whether you're doing mountain drives, whether you're doing road racing, or you just want a car to drive every day, tires are the biggest and best thing that you can do. The thing that's bad about them is you have to replace them over and over and over again, and you're always having new tires coming out and things are changing. So it's not a one and done modification, unfortunately, and it's one that can be very expensive because the more performance oriented your tires are, the more compromises you're making. If it's a really big aggressive off-road tire that's great for your weekend driving through the woods, the problem is it's probably going to be really uncomfortable and noisy on the road. Really great track tires are going to wear out really quickly in traffic or not be great in the rain or whatever. Tires, always good tires. That's the best thing, that's the best money you can possibly spend. The only way your car can function between it and the road is the tires. So that's the number 1 place you're going to want to spend money. Number 2 is going to be brakes. So this is more specific to performance driving than it is to like off-roading. But still, even day-to-day traffic, good brakes are important. And you can do this really as a group. I'm going to kind of cheat here, and I'm going to say pads, lines, and fluid. That little combo there is going to go a really long way of replacing what are going to be really quiet and comfortable factory pads with something that's a little bit more specific to your situation. So if you're doing a lot of heavy towing or you're doing a lot of performance driving or whatever you want to do, you can really tailor it to those brake pads. Ceramic brake pads are really great at everything except for really, really high loads. So if you're doing really aggressive track driving, ceramics aren't a great idea, but they're going to be quiet and comfortable and have good initial bite, and they're going to work in the heat and the cold, and they're not going to put a lot of dust off. So that's a nice all-around pad, but there are specific pads for whatever you want to be doing. So that's something you want to look at. Getting some stainless steel brake lines, especially if the car is older and the lines are already worn out, you'll see a big benefit. If the car is brand new, you don't need to replace the lines straight off the block because they're still really stiff. The rubber's still in good shape. You're not really going to notice a difference. But if you're going to have to replace them, upgrading to stainless steel is a good idea. And then fluid, really the best all-around fluid is going to be a .4 fluid. Most cars are going to come with .3. If it comes with .5.1, that's a completely different topic. Stick with the 5.1. That is not compatible with .3 and .4, but .4 is a nice all-around. You can get it from just simple Prestone stuff you can get at Walmart. It's going to work better than what you had, or you can go as crazy using like StockTech's 660, which will be for like really high performance situations and have a much higher boiling point. But altogether, those 3 things should really upgrade your brake package and should be more than enough for most situations. Number 3 is going to be a good seat. And a lot of cars already come with a good seat, and so you can just kind of stop there. But again, whether you're going off-road and you want something that's got some suspension to it so that you're not beating yourself to death as you're driving around, or if you're doing a little bit more performance driving, you can find one that hugs you in a little bit better. Just remember that if you are driving it on the street, don't forget that it needs to be comfortable. It needs to be something you can spend a lot of time in. But a good set of seats, especially if you can get one from a different model car. So for example, if you have a base Focus and you put a set of seats from an ST in, that can be a nice way to upgrade. So someone with an ST put a set of Recaros in their car, they're selling their ST seats, you can put them in your car, it's a nice upgrade, everybody wins. Looking for ones from a different trim model could be a good way to get a set of seats for your car, but you know are going to fit. They're going to be comfortable, they're going to have all of the safety features, but they're going to be a little bit more performance oriented to your situation. Same thing with like Jeeps, getting one from a Rubicon instead of having the base seats or whatever you're doing. Number 4 is going to be sway bars, and this again is a little bit more performance oriented than like drag racing or things like that, but specifically if you're doing any sort of mountain drives or things like that, sway bars are a good way to upgrade the handling of your car very cheaply, very easily, and they don't really have any drawbacks other than the cost and time of putting them in. And again, that's not a whole lot. And the rule of thumb on sway bars is if you have a rear wheel drive car, your best money is on a front sway bar. And if you have a front wheel drive car, your best money is on a rear sway bar. Because they're going to fight the different problems you have with each. If you have a rear wheel drive car, it's probably more likely to oversteer. So having that front sway bar will help you turn in a little bit better. And same thing for the front wheel drive car, having a tighter rear sway bar will help with that understeer because it'll make the back come around a little bit more so you can go into turns a little bit tighter. Again, it'll help with body roll, help you going through the turns, it'll help your turn in, but it won't really negatively impact how the car drives day to day. And the last thing with sway bars is if you're doing off-roading or if you're doing drag racing, it might be better to disconnect your sway bars. So maybe having a quick disconnect so when you get to the track or the trail, you can pop them off easily to give you a little bit more articulation or to allow the suspension to move in a way that allows you to get out of the hole better. So number 5 on this is something you could maybe combine with number 1, but it's something that is a little bit more expensive and you don't necessarily need to do it as early, but that's going to be a set of lighter wheels. And then again, for truck people, it could be stronger wheels. But the lightweight is going to be helpful for all aspects of driving. It's going to help your acceleration, it's going to help your braking, it's going to help you in the corners because it's just less mass to move around. Lighter wheels are a huge benefit because that weight is unsprung and that weight is rotational. The physics of a lighter wheel make it easier for your car to spin it up quickly so you can accelerate better and you can brake better because it is easier for your car to decelerate that lighter wheel. While you're getting that lighter wheel, you might be able to get a wider wheel so you can put more tire on your car. You can get one with a different offset so you can maybe change your track width or move things around. You know, you can get one that clear bigger brakes. So a lot of great things you can do when you switch to an aftermarket wheel, or again, like the seats, a wheel from a nicer car than yours. So that way you can get a better wheel and you know it's going to fit your car. And as those people buy aftermarket wheels for their car, they just want to get rid of their wheels, recoup their money a little bit, so you can get a good, nice set of factory wheels that are going to be maybe not quite as light as they could be from an aftermarket wheel, but the quality is going to be there. You know it's going to fit, it's going to look right with your car. That's always a great way to go. And then honorable mention on here, because I love to do that with my list, is going to be some sort of tune. This is much bigger for factory turbo cars because you can add as much as 100 horsepower with just a tune. So it can really do a lot. It's a very powerful technology now. But even in naturally aspirated cars, you're still going to get a little bit more performance. You're going to get a little bit of a smoother drive for the rev range. You're going to sacrifice a little bit of your emissions on that, or maybe some of the safety that they put in from the factory, but you're going to get the maximum performance out of your car. Just look around, make sure you get one that's safe and well thought out from a company that people trust and have good reviews, because you can really cause some serious damage to your engine if it's a poor tune. But again, ordering one, if you have everything else stock, go for it. If you're going to add a bunch of different modifications, getting a nice tune from a really well-known tuner on a dynamometer is a great way to really make sure everything's working together, working properly, and getting the best out of your system and all the money you spent building up your car. So all in all, if you took any random car, no matter what you're intending to use it for, if you did these 6 things, you would have a much better car than when you started. It wouldn't necessarily cost a great deal of money, and it wouldn't really change the character of the car. It would just enhance it. So of course, if you guys have any questions, comments, or things you want to add, feel free to drop those below. Hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next week.